Hi everyone, today we are going to introduce how assistive artificial intelligence technology contributes to American International Group AIG current business. Before we share the recommendations, let's take a look at the current market situations and what challenges that AIG is facing. As what we see, losses incurred by fraudulent claims is an industry-level challenge. Hundreds of billions of dollars are lost in medical, life, and casualty insurance for this reason. Also, competitors of AIG are embracing the innovation of assistive AI in many different processes, such as Metro Mile claim management and chatbot from Singlife that offer customer services and introduce insurance plans for operational excellence and create competitive advantage. And yet, AIG hasn't started tapping into the AI battlefield. While, for AIG's side, the aftermath of the financial crisis in 2008 continuously brings huge financial pressure to AIG. In order to repay the $180 billion payout from the US government and to rebuild its brand reputation, AIG has mentioned at its annual report that it needs to keep substantial capital and focus on market growth and operational cost reductions. Besides the financial pressures, AIG is having inadequate customer service capacity due to the fact that its business growth has exceeded its contact center service capability. There is a need to meet such customer service demands while not sacrificing the quality of services. What's more, given the fierce competition in insurance company, where many of the AIG competitors are leveraging AI technologies, there is a need for AIG to keep up with the growth of technological and innovating capacity. Considering the market is experiencing an unprecedented change in the landscape, how can AIG respond to these changes and challenges, and how can technological innovation chip in? Artificial intelligence is a system capable of interpreting external data correctly, learning from such data, and using those learnings to achieve specific goals and tasks through flexible adaptation. In other words, the information used to train a machine learning algorithm will include both input data and the corresponding expected output. To go further, assistive AI is very common these days for many business applications. It is a type of AI that requires human inputs and intervention and existing data to facilitate decision-making. But ultimately, it is a subject matter expert who makes the final decision, and that is what distinguishes assistive AI and autonomous AI. What's more, one major AI capability is machine learning, which refers to algorithms and statistical models that allow computer systems to perform specific tasks without using explicit instructions. To visualize how AI actually works, we will go through the mechanism next. So, supervised learning is an important machine learning task, which is about learning a function that maps an input to an output based on example of the input-output pairs. It means that the machine is given lots of examples of the correct answer to a particular problem. It maps from input X to a set of output Y, and assistive AI works particularly well with clearly defined inputs and outputs. The process of training a machine learning model first involves providing a machine learning algorithm with a training dataset that it can learn from. So the training dataset is correlated with the correct answer, which means the preferred outcomes. It is also known as target attributes. The raw data can then run through the machine learning algorithms. The learning algorithm finds patterns in the training data that map the input data attribute to a target. That means the preferred answer, and it will output a machine learning model that captures these patterns. Businesses have recorded much progress in making AI applicable to them. However, business should be aware of the following 4 technical factors which determine the success of the AI applications. During the stage of inputting raw data, managing data quality is essential as it determines the reliability of data for making decisions. As information sources are growing in terms of quantity and diversity, there is a need to integrate and access information from these disparate sources in a consistent and reusable ways. Secondly, size of dataset and availability of labeled data are critical. Having inadequate amount of data might not be able to draw any insights and form a big enough training dataset. Also, besides the quantity of data, quality of data will determine the performance of the AI business applications. So, the availability of labeled data becomes critical because most current AI models are trained through supervised learning. However, data labeling requires a huge amount of manual label work. On one hand, there are several implementation limitations that business need to consider before implementing AI applications. On the other, AI is a potential economic driver for businesses. According to McKinsey Global Institute, AI could potentially deliver additional economic output of around 13 trillion USD by 2030, boosting global GDP by about 1.2% a year. AI is a technology full of economic potentials. Not only can AIG benefit from the elimination of manual process, which allows employees to focus on value-adding tasks, but also the reduction in human errors and fraud detection, which regular patterns of transactions will be detected based on training data provided. Besides, it can produce additional economic output by enhancing customer experience, increasing channels for products and services, etc. So now, let's take a look at the 3 case studies and see how assistive AI has transformed these insurance companies. The first case is about Fukoku Mutual Life Insurance, a Japanese insurance firm which is currently leveraging Watson system to support its customer service and claim pre-approval processes. For customer service chatbot, Watson supports natural language dialogues between the customers and the chatbot by identifying the intent of the inquiry raised by the customers. Thanks to chatbot support, Fukoku has successfully alleviated the contact center capacity by reducing approximately 90% of call center work, which was originally done manually. Besides customer service, assistive AI has supported Fukoku claims pre-approval processes. 600,000 claim-related training data has been fed into Watson system, which then categorized all the synonyms of different kinds of illness, operations, and medical treatments. For instance, if someone has cancer or did a certain type of operations, Watson system will compare the text or the document the customer provided and the type of insurance contract that the customer has signed. By comparing 2 types of documents and the training data fed into Watson system regarding the claim decisions made by the staff in Fukoku Life before, Watson system is able to analyze the compensation criteria and then suggest whether the customer should get compensation or not and how much they can receive. And the staff will make the final decisions on the pre-approval case. Implementing the system allows Fukoku Life Insurance to reduce 30% of head accounts from the operations teams for claim compensation and expected to save 140 million Japanese yen annually. The second case is about Lemonade Insurance Company, which is an insurance startup that utilizes chatbot and algorithms to enable insurance claiming process. Unlike the chatbot offered by Fukoku Mutual Life Insurance in Case 1, the chatbot of Lemonade is offering a more advanced version of 24/7 self-service, which allows customers to access more personalized services, including maintaining their accounts, such as changing password, updating address, submit claims, check policy status, and general inquiries. The real-time conversations in the chatbot is personalized and contextual, as if we are talking to a human. Customers are also able to access the insurance rate and claim amount. All these are contributed by the support of a variety of data, such as the history of customers' properties, personal credit records, and customers' past dialogues with the chatbot, which leverages the natural language processing capacity. The self-service system allows Lemonade to dramatically reduce the number of staff needed for customer services. So in 2016, it has reported to have 1 staff coping with 5 customers on average, whereas in 2018, the ratio between staffs and customers became 1 to 2,500. It's a successful case that customers will be insured within 90 seconds and paid within 3 minutes for their claims through the use of AI-based chatbots, which has been proved to be an efficient and effective way to reduce contact call burden. From customer point of view, it's also ranked as the most satisfactory insurance company among the 270 US insurance companies in 2018. The third case is about Shift Technology, a software-as-a-service provider which utilizes machine learning to combat insurance fraud through the process of detecting fraud pattern and prioritize high-risk profile for humans to follow up on. With hundreds and millions of claims analyzed based on previous claim handling records as training data, Shift technology is designed to improve over time by tapping previous claim handling records as training data and also compare customers' documents and photos with the policyholder's contract to understand the circumstances of the claims and whether this claim was covered or not. And when suspicious cases are detected, real-time alerts or batch notifications will be sent to fraud handlers. Insurers are now able to tackle fraudulent claims with 75% hit rate on fraud detection and more than 2 million claims estimated to be solved in 2019. They're also able to save labor resources and efforts which was originally needed to investigate on potential fraud cases. Traditional insurance companies can only react to fraud afterwards. This is the reason why Shift Technology System was recognized as a game changer in this field. After taking a look at those 3 cases, here are recommendations for AIG. First, AIG can leverage chatbot for customer service in order to alleviate the burden from AIG contact center service capacity while interacting with customers with a more personalized and contextual conversation. As AIG has never done any projects related to assistive AI, we recommend AIG to launch chatbot in 2 phases, in a step-by-step approach to absorb risks and takes learning from Phase 1 to Phase 2. Phase 1 is building a chatbot for the purpose of general inquiry, which is similar to the case of a Quote insurance company. The reason is that the intent and the training dataset falls within a smaller scope and less complexity in capturing the keywords such as product informations and general keywords. While for Phase 2, AIG can build a more advanced chatbot, similar to the one from Lemonade Startup, which offers more personalized service. For example, logged-in functions, policy status checking, account management, and this requires more complex set of training data and efforts to train the chatbot. One thing worth noting is that when chatbot is implemented, make sure there is an option for customers to reach out to real human beings for help. At the end, it is customer service which involves affections and sometimes involving complicated issues. The second recommendation is an AI-enabled claim pre-approval process. The cross-checking mechanism between human and AI-based systems, which will suggest whether the target customer is qualified for compensation or not, and the amount of money to be compensated, will allow AIG to reduce resources spent on managing and monitoring claims. This initiative is also aligned with the goal mentioned from AIG's annual report that there is need to reduce operational costs due to the government payout issues. The third recommendation is fraudulent claims detection leveraged by AI. Given the pattern of irregular transaction and claiming pattern will be identified, the cases will then be reported to fraud handlers. This not only helps AIG avoid incurred losses from the fraudulent claims, but also saves up operational resources for fraudulent investigations. So the applications empowered by assistive AI technology are bringing a wide range of benefits to AIG. It allows a flexibility for human supervision, where employees are able to add value to more complex tasks which require human intervention, such as dealing with customer complaints in contact center when chatbots are not able to deal with, or making critical decisions during claiming processes. Also, the nature of learning patterns from the training dataset allows AIG to detect undesired or taught patterns that facilitate human decision-making and improve operational efficiency. Last but not least, AI, particularly the natural language processing capacity, allows a more contextual, personalized, and a more human side of services. So after the recommendations, how can AIG implement these initiatives and what should AIG consider? First, it's about the user experience. When it comes to customer services, AIG needs to pay close attention to how much the AI service includes human interaction and self-service. The balance is important because different customers at different situations might need more help from a real person rather than a standard answer from a chatbot. While for the system of pre-approval claiming process or fraud detection, the users will be employees. AIG needs to consider the balance between job replacement and performance excellence, where AI technology will be complementing the job of employee rather than a replacement. Secondly, as the quality of training dataset for machine learning algorithms will determine the performance of business application, AIG needs to prepare training data properly in order to do so smoothly. It requires collaboration between AI and the data team to acquire and develop quality data. For example, AI team might tell data team what data should be labeled. in order to build a valuable AI initiative, instead of offering a 3-year dataset, which sounds like a big pool of data, but without relevant fields that can actually fit into the training dataset, so it will be an iterative process that requires continuous communications between the teams. There might be another case that AIG is lacking training datasets, but it doesn't mean AIG needs to build from zero. Possibility is that some companies is offering business that prepare data by humans in a manual or semi-automated way for various machine learning algorithms like sentiment analysis and chatbot training. Thirdly, privacy matters. AIG needs to take care of the potential risks of data leakage and privacy concern. Consensus must be reached with the customers, especially for application of chatbot, which captures and saves conversation details. Terms and conditions should also be clearly stated in order to protect both AIG and the customers. Additional data governance might also be needed to see how data is captured and analyzed. How data is stored should also be studied if the bot is launched at some external marketing channels, such as Facebook messaging app or WeChat, which might store and capture data for different purposes. The choices of platforms to implement chatbot is worth being considered as well. It can be AIG official website, social media platforms like Facebook messaging app or WeChat, etc. Although it is enhancing the customer service capacity of AIG, using third-party platform might limit the available chatbot features when the API is not supporting those desirable features. Also, there might be unexpected failure of service delivery and data safety issues due to the fact that third-party platform is not controlled by AIG. Finally, cross-team collaboration is necessary to the success of the implementation of assistive AI technology because no team owns all the knowledge. For example, data analytics team will be involved to feed relevant training data to AI team, or compliance team to make sure the proposed claiming process solutions are not exposed to potentials of being abused. Architectural solution team to source vendor to scale up the systems, or subject matter experts of different functions. Appropriate change management would help the transition run more smoothly, such as educating staff of contact center how to use the chatbot, anti-fraudulent systems, or any new applications are required. There might also be a need for AIG to hire AI developers if there are no relevant resources in-house. Training might also be needed for in-house employees so that they can be trained with the knowledge of implementing AI technologies or be able to work with the vendors. All these are vital to the success of implementation. To conclude, assistive AI technology will be able to improve operational efficiency by the optimization of claiming process management, reduction in human errors, and fraud detection. It also opens up additional channels to reach out customers with improved customer service experience through the use of chatbots.